Hey everybody, Professor Doom here, and I put up a video earlier today showing you guys about this document and just showing you all that they told us many decades ago. As I pointed out right there in number 65, Venezuelan and Colombian troops. And isn't it interesting that all of these Venezuelans are being shipped up to New York? But I got some videos for you, and you know what? I thought about something very, very interesting to go with this, and I'm going to show you a video back from 2014. As a matter of fact, it was a Super Bowl commercial. I want to replay that for you here because I actually think that it has something to do with what is coming. So let's take a look at some other videos right now, because there is some craziness going on. There was a matter of fact, there was a video that I'm still trying to find, and I did see it. There was this black from Africa, and he had this card, and he said he got the card from the United Nations with $2,200 on it per month to come over here. But for what purpose? Why would they just be handing these people money on a card to come over here, but not just a one-time payment? Isn't that interesting that, $700 was offered up to the Lahaina fire families, a one-time payment per household? But yet all of this money is being funneled to these immigrants to come over here and live, and they're getting free room, free board. All of our homeless are living on the streets. They're not getting treated like these people are getting treated. This tells me that they are in the employ of somebody. Somebody has employed them to come over here for a purpose. We're going to listen to what these other people have to say, and then I'm going to play for you a video from or a commercial from 2014 Super Bowl commercial. Let's take a look at what these other people are seeing so you guys don't think that I'm absolutely out of my mind.
From China, as they are migrating into the northern borders of the United States. Venezuela, China.
The northern border of the United States.
Venezuela.
You remember what?
China. Where are you going? United States?
Do you remember what it said on that map? It said that the Chinese were going to come through Canada. This is where they're coming from, the northern border. It's all right there on the map, and it's happening right now as we speak. But, boy, oh boy, let me bring that back up for you. Canada, Mongolian or Chinese, and Russian troops. Do you remember all those years ago we were talking about how Russia was training right here on military bases, right here in the United States? Do you remember all those times that we talked about that? And let's just take a look at, I'm kind of just flabbergasted about how it appears all accurate this map really has become.
United States, USA. Where are you going? USA. China.
Yes, from China.
China. Where you going to the United States? USA.
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 America, New York.
America, New York.
Yes.
Yes. Xi Jinping. No. No. Okay. USA. China. Nepal. China.
Do you see how some of them don't even want to show their face? They don't even want to look at the camera.
China. Wow.
Wow. Okay. Now you get it.
You're from China? Okay.
Video I put up, I showed you that Eagle Pass, Texas is where a lot of these Venezuelans were entering. And you know what's interesting? This person who is a local to that area, and she's going to tell you that she's witnessing that there are no women that are coming over with these fighting age men. Let's listen to her report.
I am live in Eagle Pass, Texas, and what your audience is looking at right now is a military camp where they are housing and bringing young adult males of fighting age straight off the river on white buses into this facility. Those camps are used to bring in only young adult males, all of the males that you're seeing coming over the border. This is where they're housing them. This has been a planned, coordinated effort to take down the United States of America, I believe, like a Trojan horse from inside.
So what can the people in Eagle Pass, Texas do in the county that you're in to stop what is happening? I mean, obviously you're there exposing it. What should they be doing?
Our congressmen, our governors, they need to act, and they need to act
That's
now.
too late
I'm
for all
telling
that.
America right now.
That's
Stop living
already
under a rock.
that's already
This is
passed.
an
That
active,
time's passed.
well-coordinated invasion into the nation. We have Iran's Revolutionary Guard and Cut forces flying into Venezuela. The Venezuelan government is them giving them passports and proper documentation. They're being absorbed in these caravans. It's mostly Venezuelans coming in, all males. If you think that that fertilizer is not going to be utilized, those ammonium nitrate that can be used as massive bombs. Timothy McVeigh, when he blew up the Oklahoma City bombing, I think it was only 2 tons that he used. 26 tons went missing. Is it going to take multiple little mini 9/11 events for America for you to wake up?
Yeah.
Let me first say I'm not a racist, okay? But men go to war and women and children flee war. Where are all the women and children, please? Everybody that's coming over are fighting age men. They're soldiers. Now, are they there to protect us, or are they there to round us up? What are these immigration centers for if we're not using them? What are all these new prisons for if we're not using them? Prisoners are being released early, on time. What are the FEMA camps built for? The largest one can accommodate 2 million people. But where the hell do they expect to find 2 million people? And more importantly, why? There's something else going on they're not telling us about, because it's cataclysmic, and we should be told. We should be allowed to make preparations. Putin, who's supposed to be the bad guy, has made preparations for every single one of his citizens, man, woman, and child. But what are our governments doing for us? Absolutely nothing. So you want to know what immigration is really all about? Ask them, because they're working with the SAS. They're working with our military. They are soldiers. That's my view. Why is it that our own veterans are living on the streets? Why our own people are living on the streets? And yet these people can come over and live in hotels and get £175 a week. That's more than our unemployed get, because they're on the payroll. There is something being planned, and it's not good. Not good at all. For any of us. Children flee war. Why are they coming here? There's no war here. Why aren't they fighting for their own countries? Why are they coming here? And why are we accommodating them when we're not even accommodating our own people?
Okay, here's that video where this African is going to admit to being on the payroll of the United Nations. So the map that I showed you, that is a United Nation plan to round up Americans or to police Americans when they're not going to allow U.S. troops who will refuse to engage U.S. citizens, and they're going to be using these people right here, Venezuelans, Colombians up in the New York area. We're talking about Chinese. You see it. That's all right there for you. But let's listen to what he has to say. Or not.
Since we don't have money, so and they haven't deposited my account. ¿Cuánto te depositaban? El depósito el 7 de enero a 14 de enero, pero no depositan nada. So the whole month of January you haven't received anything.
What were they supposed to receive in their...
¿Cuánto es lo que te dan? Es el último pago. ¿Cuánto fue? 4 el dinero, 3,600 pesos. 3,600 pesos. was the last payment I received.
And it goes.
I haven't received it.
Does that go into your bank account?
¿A dónde va? ¿Tienes una cuenta? ¿Una tarjeta? Sí. ¿Tienes?
Oh, let me see. And how much is anything on that card now at all? Any money?
¿Tiene dinero? No, no hay dinero. No hay? No hay nada. Aquí no depositan nada.
You know, just like a couple of other commercials that we've seen being played through other Super Bowls, 2014, 2015, so on and so forth. And when you have a commercial that doesn't even talk about their product until the very last few seconds of the commercial, what you have to ask, is there a message being conveyed in the commercial? We've seen it with Matthew McConaughey's commercial. Do you remember? What did he say about that big bull? Oh, that looks like Osiris. Osiris. But you know he was talking about the god Osiris. Do you see how they throw those out there to you? There's the clues. It's the hidden meanings, the hidden statements that are being made. Well, this commercial is no different. Let's take a listen to this commercial right here and listen to the message that's being conveyed.
The world is full of giants. They have always been here. Lumbering in the schoolyards, limping through the alleys. We had to learn how to deal with them, how to overcome them. We were small, but fast. Remember? We were like a wind appearing out of nowhere. We knew that being clever was more important than being the biggest kid in the neighborhood. As long as we keep our heads down, as long as we work hard, trust what we feel in our guts, our hearts, then we're ready. We wait until they get sleepy, wait until they get so big they can barely move. Then we walk out of the shadows, quietly walk out of the dark, and strike.
We have prepared. Now we strike. Oh my God. So what have you prepared for? You're fucking selling a motherfucking car. What are you preparing for? And the thing is, if you think about all that has been done to citizens of the United States, and I want to say this with all due respect, okay? People, their consumption, we're getting bigger. There's, the United States has probably got one of the most overweight population there is. That's by design. Actually, I can't say that. All I can say is that there's a reason behind this. And the whole thing is maybe it was by design. You put all of the evidence together. Take a look at what this commercial is telling you. They're going to be striking. I know this commercial is from 2014, but hell, man, the document's back from the 1950s, and it laid out everything that is going on right now. Who's going to be involved? Colombians, Venezuelans, Chinese. Who do we see? Chinese. Who do we see coming in through Texas? Who do we see Texas shipping these Venezuelans and Colombians to? To New York. Who are they going to be policing? In what sector of the United States? Does the map tell us? The Northeast. That's New York area. That is Massachusetts. That is Rhode Island, Philadelphia, all of that area. And that's where they're all going. But listen to me here carefully. We saw in my video, if you didn't see my last video, take a look at it. What did I show you? That was 500,000 Venezuelans that received work visas from Joe Biden. 500,000 Venezuelans. That's not counting Africans. That's not counting Colombians. That's not counting Chinese. It's not counting Guatemalans. It's not counting any of that. 500,000 Venezuelans. If 500,000 of them are here and you have 500,000 of this and you got 500,000 of that coming over, how many people do you think it's going to take for them to thrust guns in their hands and start fucking rounding us up? Or actually, do you remember? Okay. Do you guys remember I did a video many, many years ago in 2014 about the United Nations that was putting out a job availability on their website for a DDR officer for the United States? Does anybody know what that means? Does anybody know what a DDR officer is? Disarm, detain, and reintegrate, or basically they're going to detain you, they're going to disarm you, and then they're going to rehabilitate you or and that was out of New York. Now the whole thing is that on the website, and I'd like to be able to bring that up for you. It just now came to my mind right off the top of my head. I'm just now remembering that video that I did, that there were job listings on the United Nations website for all kinds of different locations, whether it was in freaking Djibouti, or whether it was in Timbuktu, or wherever the hell the job description was for, whether it was for a basket weaver or a freaking gardener or whatever, they had it, okay, for that location. A DDR officer was being sought for the United States. Well, let's see. That was in 2014. And we see that this map that I'm showing you has all of these individuals that are going to be strategically placed within the United States to disarm our asses, because they cannot rely on U.S. troops to do it for them. And this is exactly how you would go about doing that. So now, ask yourself these questions. When it comes time for them to be called up to do what they've been brought over to do, and they are putting on uniforms and they get guns thrust in their hands, are you going to believe it then? Because I'm definitely seeing you. I don't know exactly how I can explain it any better to you than to look how our very own government is treating the people of Hawaii. They're treating the homeless here. But when yet the migrants come over, and we're taking a look at, you're taking a look at men that appeared to be, they're not hurting for food. That's for sure, because they look like they've been eating very well. I'm not saying they're fat. I'm just saying they look like they've been eating well. They're not overly skinny. And how is it that we're not hearing about Chinese that are coming over out of their border, escaping China to come over here? Because they're being sent here. Especially think about this, folks. What if this whole disarming thing all has to do with how this country has been promised to China long ago. And ask yourself the other question: why has China built these ghost cities? And let me just do this. That's to keep my screen going so I can record. Why did China build these ghost cities years and years ago? And why have, it appears, I can't verify this, so I could be just talking out the other end of my ass, but why have they been patching them up if it's indeed true? Because remember, these ghost cities were built 20, 25, 30 years ago. Maybe it might not even have been that long ago, because I remember reporting on them back in 2015. I can remember that. And these ghost cities were starting to get run down then, but they looked like they were pretty much modern creations. It wasn't like it was in the 1960s, 70s, 80s, or 90s. It looked like it was in the 2000s that the Chinese built these ghost cities. There's no one living in them. It's a whole freaking city that is uninhabited. And you know what? It's not one city. It's not two cities. It's about 5 or 6 of these big, huge cities that can hold tens of thousands of people that are just sitting there and not occupied. Why? There has to be a reason why they were built. Just like there has to be a reason why all of these fighting men immigrants are coming over to the United States and they're going to certain locations. It has to be. I know I'm not crazy. Hey, you know what? All we can do is we're just going to sit back and just watch to see it unfold. Because you know what? As I see it right now, New York has the most strictest gun laws. Okay? When they get guns thrown in their hands and they're being told what to do, you know, those people are, what are they going to do? Are they going to be rounding up? Are they going to be going door to door and rounding up all the people that have been on social media preaching this stuff just like I have? Is that what they're going to be doing? Are they going to go around and collecting guns from the people who they know still have them in their possession? Okay. We shall soon see, because I guarantee you the time is coming very, very soon. There is not a reason why those immigrants would come over here in the state that our country's in right now. They've got money. They're being provided money from the United Nations. If this guy's to be believed, he's got a card right there. Where in the fuck did he get that card from? Where? Why would he come over here? If you got all of this transportation capability to come from Africa to the United States, why didn't you just freaking stay there then if you had all that money to be able to be transported over here? That's because he didn't pay. They're being brought over here intentionally. Wake up, folks. Thanks, everybody.